I'm going to share with you today our perspective on how contact center operators can leverage the power of intelligent schedule change empowerment to optimize intraday staffing beyond what has been achievable before. As a bit of a Star Trek nut, I thought I would take a bit of artistic license with the Star Trek theme to boldly go where no one has gone before, because I think that applies well to what I'm going to share with you today. So let's start with a quick refresher on what intelligent schedule change empowerment is all about. Most commercial workforce management systems do a good job reporting on when staffing variances are projected to occur, typically through a staffing variance dashboard. To deliver intelligent schedule change empowerment, you simply take this information, in this example projected understaffing intervals, and transform this data into a real-time schedule change user interface for your agents, where qualified agents can see and select pre-approved schedule change opportunities. Times when you're projecting understaffing become opportunities for agents to add hours, and times when you are projecting overstaffing become opportunities for agents to take time off. With this approach, every time your agent makes a schedule change, they are actually helping your workforce administrators reduce projected staffing variances. If you think about it, harnessing your agent's desire for schedule change empowerment to help optimize staffing levels is a lot like what FedEx did to transform the package shipping industry through empowering their customers to self-track their orders. Intelligent self-scheduling empowerment inherently creates a win-win-win for agents, workforce administrators, and for your operations management team. Agents get the flexibility to view and select pre-approved work hour change opportunities with instant confirmation. Your workforce administrators get fewer intraday staffing variances to deal with and fewer scheduled change requests to process. And finally, your operations management team gets improved intraday performance, customer satisfaction, and agent retention. So now that we understand what intelligent schedule change empowerment is all about, let's take a look at how it can actually take staffing optimization beyond what has ever been achieved before. This chart shows a typical commercial workforce management system intraday staffing dashboard that shows projected staffing variances for each 15 or 30-minute interval of the day. Intervals with lines reaching into the red area are intervals with significant projected understaffing, say greater than 5%, that will likely have a major impact on service levels, for example, average speed of answer or ASA. Intervals with lines reaching into the orange area are intervals with less projected understaffing, say less than 5%, that will still affect service levels, but to a lesser degree. Intervals with lines reaching into the yellow area are intervals with significant projected overstaffing, say greater than 5%, that will add significant unnecessary cost beyond what is required to achieve service levels. And the intervals with lines reaching into the blue area are intervals with less projected overstaffing, say less than 5%, that will still have an impact on cost, but again to a lesser degree. In this example, it looks like the scheduling has been done in a way that ensures that there are no major overstaffing or yellow intervals, but it does result in intervals falling into the blue, orange, and red categories. For most workforce administrators today, their primary focus is on addressing major understaffing intervals, the ones that have the greatest impact on service levels. Think of this as a laser or phaser focused approach. With this approach, workforce administrators can take actions that minimize major service impacts, but there are still a lot of intervals remaining that are left unaddressed. The reason that workforce administrators typically cannot address the orange understaffing intervals is that there are only so many scheduled changes a company can impose on their agents before this starts having a negative impact on agent sat. So companies typically live with suboptimal service levels they cannot effectively eliminate. That's why you see things like an SLA that calls for 80% of calls to be answered in 30 seconds instead of 99% of calls to be answered in 30 seconds. So if a company truly wants to optimize service levels, they need to find a way to effectively address the orange intervals in addition to the red ones. So how can this be done? One option is to simply schedule more agents for every interval, or in this example, increase staffing levels across the board by 5%. This would in fact eliminate most, if not all, understaffing intervals, but it clearly comes at a price. For a 1,000-agent contact center with a $20 million annual payroll, this approach would constitute a $1 million solution. pretty expensive. A better option is to let your agents help you. With intelligent schedule change empowerment, in addition to helping address the major understaffing or overstaffing intervals, agents can also help you address those minor staffing variances without impacting agent sat, because in this case, the company is not imposing schedule changes on their agents, but instead empowering their agents with more flexibility to modify their schedules. For example, if you have a 1,000 agent contact center and you have identified an interval where you're projecting that you will be understaffed by 4 agents, you're probably not going to go out of your way to impose extra hours on some agents in an attempt to address that minor staffing variance. But if an agent or two wants to pick up some hours during those same intervals, why not let them? Assuming agents use intelligent schedule change empowerment to add hours and take time off at roughly the same rate, this approach will help to further optimize staffing levels while being cost neutral to the business. Looking back at our example, the number of workforce management addressable intervals are only 15% of the total intervals, but because the staffing intervals are larger in those red intervals, they represent almost half of the total number of staffing hour variances. In other words, company-initiated schedule change processes can generally only address about half of the total staffing hour variances. But with intelligent schedule change empowerment, agents can help you address the other half of the total staffing hour variances, those hours that are generally not easily addressable with company-initiated schedule change processes alone. So in summary, providing your agents with intelligent schedule change empowerment improves agent satisfaction, which improves customer satisfaction. It transforms agents into active workforce management partners to help your WFM administrators minimize staffing variances. And it optimizes staffing levels beyond what can be achieved by company-initiated schedule changes alone, enabling you to boldly go where no intraday staffing process has gone before. To learn more about intelligent schedule change empowerment, feel free to visit us on our website at www.workflexsolutions.com.